And welcome back to this edition of Coach Campus. You know, the NBA playoffs edition. Got my boy Terrence Vaughn's back, the man of the hour. Look at him. See, I think you do the background screens just to tick me off a little bit. But it's okay. I see the last dance back there.
I mean, it's symbolic. It's symbolic for some of these teams that showed up in the playoffs.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Well, I'm glad I got you back, man. You know, the day after Mother's Day. Hopefully, your wife had a great holiday. My mom had a great one as well.
Mhm.
So let's get into it.
Let's
Let's
do
get
it.
into the first one. The one I think that caught both of us off by surprise. Let's get into the Philly New York Knicks series. Them boys got swept. And I mean them
Mm.
boys, I mean Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia 76ers.
Mhm.
4-0. Knicks looking like a juggernaut. What did you see in this series, and what do you think the Knicks can do to build on from here?
I got to the point where it was by like game 3. I thought game 2, I'm like, yeah, this is over. I could just tell. Game 3 and 4 was just more formality of what was already kind of happening. I think that the Knicks didn't just beat Philly. They actually exposed a lot of who Philly truly is that Boston was unable to do. The inconsistent shooting on Philly's team, the defensive breakdowns, the over reliance on Embiid and Maxey to create, shots and get everybody else involved. And, New York employed something I think no one really saw coming, which is Karl Anthony Towns really being the offensive initiator. So that for me was a shock and surprise that we haven't seen of the Knicks even before we got to the playoffs. New York's ability to actually knock shots down, the spacing they had on the floor, the ball movement was much better from series to series. And the fact that they set a record for 3-point shooting, the Knicks, like I would expect the Warriors or even OKC or some of these other teams, but never the Knicks to be a 3-point juggernaut. And it just, they couldn't do any wrong. And they didn't even have old boy OG, right? Like he was out. And they still rolled on. So,
Yeah, he didn't play
I
game 3 or
think,
game 4.
yeah. So I think, the Knicks are actually onto something with Karl Anthony Towns running the show because it gets Brunson off the ball, creates more screening opportunities to get him free, lets him save and conserve some energy. And if you can get McBride off the bench and Hart knocking shots down, and Bridges actually shows up on the offense end, I mean, they could be dangerous in the Eastern Conference. I'll leave it at that. That's a little foreshadowing cliffhanger.
All right, so let me get to this series. Let me get to this. You had it wrong. I had it wrong, and damn it, we were duped, man. The Embiid sighting in the
Hoodwinked.
Celtics game and the Celtics series,
Yeah.
we overthought that so much. And I'm just going to
Mhm.
say me. I ain't going to even say. I'm going to say I did. I thought I was coming on here with aha. I got something for you, but you know what happened? They brought the brooms out, man. They dusted them all up. They brought the brooms out. And I'm so sick. This is like the 4th time I've got duped by Embiid, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I will not.
Mhm.
The process has been gone. They got processed cheese. Everything's processed. But let's get to this series. The Knicks have impressed me. They very well have impressed me. With everything you said, the offense as you just described. You described the Golden State offense. Mike Brown was after he left Cleveland. He coached.
Mhm.
Remember, he coached there for a while
Mhm.
while Kerr was out, and then he was on his staff. So him getting Karl Anthony Towns as the point forward was genius. I think he averaged over seven and a half assists for the series.
Mhm.
You get that, like you said, you get Deuce McBride coming off the bench looking like Reggie Miller. You get Landry Shamet coming off the bench and him hitting some buckets.
Right.
And I know the 76ers had to be sick because he used to be a 76er. And I saw
Right.
when he played for the 76ers. He was trash buckets.
Yeah, I mean, and that hair is crazy. It looked like a lollipop that fell on the ground, right? Like,
Man,
or rolling around on the carpet.
hey, that mop top.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So I believe that McBride coming off the bench doing great. They're actually using the bench, unlike last year under
Mhm.
Tibbs. I don't know how they're good. They're dangerous. I think they could win the East, but I still have the Pistons coming out. So, I picked that series. We'll talk about that later. But
Mhm.
now that this series is over, Vaughns, what do you do in Philadelphia now?
Listen, man. you gotta go. If I'm the owner, I walk into Embiid's locker, talk to him. I walk into the GM spot and I say, look, it's not you, it's me. It's time to break up. You know what I mean? I don't care how you say it, how you want to call it. It is time to break up because the problem is Daryl Morey, when he came over from Houston and had all that magic over there for all the good things he did, not to
Mhm.
try to, downplay him, but he set them back. Like getting Paul George did not help them. All you did was hamstring your abilities to go do things within the salary cap. Embiid is making way too much money to play 30 plus games, in 3 straight years. He's just making too much money. So when you got I think it's three of their players, the only team in the NBA like that are all making over 40 million,
Yeah.
you can't do nothing. Like you're strapped.
Yeah, you're
So you
strapped.
almost have to like get rid of, to me, you got to find even if you just take a haircut in the short term, kind of like what Sam Presti did out in OKC,
Yeah.
take a haircut short term, get rid of Embiid. I don't care where you send him. Send him with like 4 second-round picks or something crazy.
Yeah.
Give people to take that salary on. Get PG up out of there,
Yeah.
right? I don't care if you get nothing back and just go with your young core in the
Yeah.
draft, and you're gonna have to go back into the process. So to
Yeah.
me, it's time to break up, man. Like this marriage ain't working. It's unconsolable differences at this point. Like Embiid's cheating.
Yeah.
He's cheating and he's cheating the Philly fan. He's talking about show up and buy tickets. He ain't even playing in game two. You know what I mean? So I think it's over. It's a wrap for this team. And they're gonna be, if they come back with the same team, it'll be the same outcome. First round, second round, maybe at best, but they're gonna be in the same setup and situation. They're not gonna compete for an NBA championship for a while until they dismantle this team.
Yeah, I think with Maxey as your point guard, you got to have a running big. You got to have a big that's be able to run because to maximize Maxey, he's like Mighty Mouse. He runs the rip and runs around the court. He needs someone to be able to go up and down with him, up and down, up and
Mhm.
down. And B's not that guy. He slows it down. Yes, is he good? Very good. When he's healthy, he's awesome. But the best ability is availability. And if you're not available, I can't use you. If it's beautiful to have a Porsche 911, but if the engine's not running, what do I care about having a Porsche? So
Mhm.
they got to get rid of him. Playoff Pete. I don't know whoever came up with that name. It's
Man.
ridiculous. It's like calling. It's like when they call the fat man Slim. What's up, Slim? Like
Yeah, yeah. It don't even make sense,
what are we
man.
doing here? Playoff
Yeah.
P? Like, get out of
Yeah.
here. I'm done with him. I felt they misused Kelly Oubre in this series too. I feel like he was just
Mhm.
chilling on the corner. Yeah, last series he hit a couple big key threes, but he's supposed to be the dunker's position. He's supposed to be the one to be slashing. He's 6'7", 6'8". You can do that.
Mhm.
I don't know. So, like you said, the process is over. They got to start over because their ceiling's
Yeah.
maximized.
Yep. It's over. It's a wrap for them.
Indeed. All right, let's go to the Prime Video game 2 tonight. This series is 3-0. Thunders
Mm.
over Lakers. Game 4 in the crypt tonight at 10:30 p.m. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how much I'm gonna see this tonight because at 10:30 I'm starting to get old. But I know I will watch it early in the morning. What do you see tonight? And tell me who are the keys to Thunder and them getting this 3-0 lead?
So what I see tonight is there's not going to be any shallow how moments with this series. Like what you see is what you get. And the reality is the Lakers are not good enough to beat OKC in 1 game, 2 game, three. It doesn't matter. Even if this is a 1 game series, I wouldn't bet on the Lakers at all. And the reality is they came up against the wrong team.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're at now a point where you're in the final four. Like in the West, and the West has been tough all year and for the last couple
Yes.
years, and OKC's been kind of the front runner of that.
Yeah.
So I just like the fact that you know you have the depth that OKC has, and like Shea didn't even play well. I think it was maybe game 2. He had like 4 fouls.
Yeah.
Didn't he play well? And you see him being able to still be a cheerleader and not be this, arrogant dude that's on the bench pissed off and mad, but he's
Mhm.
rooting on his teammates, his peers. and their depth is crazy. So
Yep.
like you've got Holmgren, you've got Wallace out there playing defense. You got Dort who knows his role. You got Joe out there. You got all the guys on the bench. McCain out there shooting crazy who just came from Philly. They just let him go for nothing. It's just like they have no answers, and it's like Lakers will go on a run. Kennard hit a shot. Braun will do some. Austin Reeves might give you a couple buckets. Even Rui might make one or two, and they just don't care. It's like they shrug it off. We know who we are. Like you can go on an 8-0, 10-0, 12-0 run. We know we're still going to beat you by 15 to 20. And that's how they just show up. They're not scared of the Lakers. There's nothing about the Lakers they are concerned about. And I think that's going to carry into tonight's game. This is going to be, I know we talked about a gentleman's sweep. Man, this is like Players Club. There's some furniture moving in this
He
thing.
did some trouble.
And yeah, there's some trouble. Like this is nothing but old-fashioned furniture moving out here, and the Lakers are getting that broom. So you might as well get it ready and break this out for this series because it's a wrap.
You see that, right?
It's a wrap.
Listen, as much as I love LeBron, even 2014 LeBron couldn't do nothing with this team today. This team is just too well-rounded.
Yep.
Who put this team together was amazing. They got just enough older gentlemen like Caruso for key role. You know what you're coming in to do. Don't be a Thursday hero. Just do your job. SGA, not even playing well. Jalen Williams, not playing at all. He said, hey, I was number 2 in the draft at one point in time, fellas. Don't forget about me. You're Minnesota man. The Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
I like this Thunders team. The reason why I like this Thunder team because, like I said, it is well-rounded. It's just LeBron James, he's too old in the tooth. Even with Luka, they may win 1 or 2 games, but they wasn't going to keep this serious. Like you said, Ruby's probably played the best out of everyone on the Lakers in 4 games. Withstanding everything. And if he's your best player, you're going home early.
Yep.
Like I said, I don't got too much.
Street lights on.
What'd you say?
The street light is on.
Oh yeah.
Get home.
Yeah.
Street light.
Yeah, street light. Yeah. So tonight, I just hope they keep it respectable. I mean, if they keep it respectable, I'll keep watching. But if it's in the fourth quarter and they're already down 22-23, I know they ain't coming back, man. I need my beauty sleep. All right. Let's get to the earlier game, to the early game tonight that starts very soon. The 2-1 Pistons over Cavaliers. You had the Cavaliers in this series. I had the Pistons in this series. I'm looking okay right now. But Cavaliers got game 4 tonight at home. What have you seen so far? And what's the keys going forward? And are you still sticking with the Cavs?
Detroit has shown up more this series like who they were as a number 1 seed. And the relentless, kind of defensive pressure, the transition offense, getting out on the floor, running, the offensive rebounding, and Cade is just, he's showing up like an all-NBA player. And he's controlling the tempo, controlling the pace of the game, manipulating the defensive end for Cleveland. Like, they don't really know what to do. They don't have an answer. And so, I think Detroit has done a good job really just pushing their identity into this series. So everything we thought and we knew about them, they have done that. I think on the Cleveland side, they've struggled to handle the defensive pressure. You've got James Harden in the first couple games with the turnovers, right? Like I'm going to still stand on it and say if Cleveland is going to win this in 7, which is what I said they would do, he's got to be the missing link here because he can't disappear. He can't just keep disappearing. Like this is his last chance at winning a championship. From here on out, if he wins a championship, he's going to be like John Sally on the 96 Bulls, right? Or 98 Bulls. He's just going to be over there clapping with glasses on. That's probably his ceiling after this series. If he can't do something, he doesn't win this championship this year, like he's going to be on somebody's, bench just being a role player if he will accept that. So I think Detroit's done a good job. Cleveland, not so much holistically, but I'm not going to move away from the Cavs. I still think they're going to win in 7. And I think, Cleveland, if they can speed the Pistons up and get more transition buckets, get rebounds, get out and get easy looks, right? James Harden hits a couple shots. Spider gets in the lane, big dunk, Coco Jones over there singing and clapping for him. Like, I I think Cleveland still has a chance, man. I think they still have a chance to eke this one out. So this is going exactly how I thought. It's going to be a back and forth, which is why I said 7, and that's why I said I think Cleveland wins on their floor and it becomes a different series in that next round. But I'll leave it to you to tell me why I'm right and why you're wrong.
Well, you're right. The only thing you're right about is Coco Jones singing to
Woo!
Donovan Mitchell. That's the only thing you're right about. I told you I still got him
Mhm.
in 6. I didn't think it was going to be
Okay.
a cakewalk, but I didn't think it was going to be as tough as the Magic series. Because remember, I was talking about them two,
Mhm.
in the China shop, like bulls in the China shop. You know what I said last time about
I
the
did.
Magic
I
and the
did. But
Pistons.
let's not relive that
So we're
moment.
not gonna relive that. We're not gonna relive that. But what we are gonna relive is Kate Cunningham. Like you said, he manipulates the defense in similar fashion of how Shea manipulates the defense. But only what I like about him more is that he's not looking for calls. He's actually looking for what's the best next move. Piggyback off that, I wish he was a little bit more selfish because
Mhm.
when your team is on a when the Cavaliers on a 7-0 run, you're my bucket getter. You're the person that's supposed to stop the run. You got to stop the run. Now, don't get me wrong. They're up 2-1. Bias is still playing like Tobias I thought he was going to play. Jalen Duren, not so much. I don't know. Ever since that Magic series, I don't know what's going on with this guy. I mean, he's playing better than the Magic series, but I just don't know. Jenkins, he didn't play well in the third game in Cavalier land. For the Cavs, another thing you're right about. James Harden. You can't have more turnovers than field goals made, man,
Yeah.
in a game. You just can't.
Yeah. You're too good for that.
You're too
Like your
good
your
for
your
that.
legacy. Yeah, you're
Like
too
like
good
it's
for that.
it's it's not like you are chopped liver, even though I like chopped liver. It's not like you're chopped liver, man. Like
Mhm.
you're a bucket getter. You're supreme. And for you to just don't show up in fourth quarter of game 2, then show up fourth quarter game 1, got bailed out by Mitchell in game 3, got bailed out by Jared Allen, big old fro, got built out. We're gonna see what Max Strus does tonight. Because with Strus coming off the bench, him hitting threes, Fade being in there, Merrill being in there, the sharpshooters, they got to knock down threes in order for them to win this game tonight. Do I
Mhm.
think it's going to happen? No. I do think they're going to go back to Detroit 3-1. I think they're actually going to lose. The Pistons will lose at home in game 5, and I think they're going to come back to Cavaliers and close it out in 6. I have the Cavs losing 2 games on their home court. I just do, and it's because of lack of execution in the fourth quarter. I think
Mhm.
I think the Pistons are ready, and I'm looking toward the Pistons Knicks series, but I don't want to put the cart before the horse. So I'm just going to say I have the Pistons still winning.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what
Yeah,
happens.
hey,
But
we're gonna see it.
like
My
I
good
said,
eye, we're gonna see it. My lazy eye, we can see anything, baby. I got the Pistons in 6.
okay, okay. Well, we're gonna see because
Oh,
like I said, I think it's James Harden is he's gonna make the difference. He's
he's the
either gonna
key. He's the
do
key.
exactly what you described, and yeah, they may get done in 5. I mean, they may get gentlemen swept here
Yeah,
if they don't turn it around. But I think it's going to be a longer series. I think this is going to be one of those series where the Cavs will start to leverage the talent that they have on that team, and hopefully the coach gets it together over there. I think some of this can be coaching
okay.
solved as well, not just from the
Yeah.
player standpoint, but there could be some X's and O's
Oh,
things similar
yeah.
to what Mike Brown did with New York to get Harden going. Like you
Yeah.
almost need to come out and say, all right, we're going to defer to you.
Yeah.
Let you be the primary option in the first, making this
Yeah.
up 5 positions.
Yeah.
We're going to run the offense solely through you. We're going to do what you do well, such as pick and roll. And you're going to get Jared Allen or we'll get you Mobley or somebody. We're going to do
Yeah.
pick and roll with you, take it back to the old days and see if we can get him started. If he gets
Yeah.
going, Spider can get involved
The
whenever and
Spider
wherever.
can heat
So he
up
can
whenever
motivate.
he feels like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to get James involved early, get him the touches early, and what I mean, like you said, have him control and dictate. Hey, James, like you said, the first five times we come down, if there's no fast break, get it to James. James, I need you to do what you do. Do what
Go
you
work.
do.
Let's go to work.
Yeah, so we're gonna see about that. We're gonna see about tonight. So let's talk about the last series, the one that's actually tied 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
Spurs Timberwolves. Who would have thunk? I thought me and you both thought the Spurs were going to walk over easy, like in 6 games. I thought it still could be 6 games. But I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was going to be a little easier. What have you seen in these first 4 games I want you to tell me, what have you seen the first 4 games? What do you think about the elbow? Everyone's always talking about the elbow. Do you think he should have got suspended? And what do you see in the best 2 out of 3 that's coming out of this
Yeah.
game?
So if you remember, I talked about giving them one game, right? So that was one game, and that was game one. And it just
Yeah.
happened. It happened sooner than I thought.
Yeah.
So Ant was the difference maker, even though I think he played something like 25
Yeah.
minutes. But during his time, he gave them the spark that they needed. And again, you've got experience versus complete inexperience with the Spurs, right? And every team has had to go through their maturation process in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because the playoffs, it's different basketball. It's more aggressive. It's rough and tougher. People are playing defense a lot differently and harder, and they're making adjustments. Like you got time to prepare for teams. So I think for me, getting game one, okay, I looked at that. All right, there's the game.
Mm-hmm.
Spurs take game two as they should, right? But now Timberwolves shift. I think really the difference is the elbow. Like,
Yeah.
because if Wemby doesn't go out that early,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? He can cook the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And now that you got an angry and mad Wemby, I'm kind of curious to see how he responds to this, this different demeanor. This is not like him. Most big dudes, kind of put them in that marshmallow group, right?
Yeah.
Like you're soft with a capital T at the end. So
Softer than a Roseanne's son. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. So I think the elbow was a culmination of how the Timberwolves have been starting to play him, just much more physicality and just like pushing on him, elbowing it, like, and he got tired of it. Now let's get to the elbow, right? The people's elbow that he delivered to Nas Reed, you could tell there was intentionality
Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think the dilemma here, if I'm Adam Silver, is you've got on one hand, if I treat it by the act and not by who did the act,
Yeah.
you got to be consistent. And the consistent way is it's probably a game because it's very intentional. And although Nas Reed got up, didn't get hurt, didn't go back to the locker room or miss any time, that shouldn't be the dictation of what the end result should be, whether the dude got hurt and he's out games or not. That shouldn't really add to it or take
Yeah.
away from it. So I think that's he's got to decide between that and then, do you really take Wemby out the series? Like for your product,
Yeah.
right? So now it's a business versus what's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most people choose business. Unfortunately, in the world, they don't always make the decision that's right.
Yeah.
So I think personally, he's not going to suspend him. I think he'll give him a fine. I think there will be a warning that if you do this again at any point this year, you're fined or miss a game. But again, if you remember, Draymond Green, who
Yeah.
was a key integral part of the team, ended up getting suspended for a game himself.
Yeah.
And it changed the whole trajectory of that series against
did.
Cleveland. I mean, there's a precedent set to make those same types of decisions. So I think they're not going to do it, but if they did do it, I don't know if the Spurs, I mean, this could get dicey. That changes the whole trajectory of this series, and then Wemby's going to have to go off,
Yeah.
and they're going to have to win 2 games in a row.
Yeah. You're right. Game 1, it was a shocker when Minnesota. For me, it was a shocker for Minnesota to win Game 1 in San Antonio. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay, all right. They snuck up on them, got one. Game 2, they got blown out? Was it Game 2 they got blown out?
Yeah, they smacked them. Yeah, they smacked them.
Smacked them Game 2.
Yeah.
Game 3, they win. Tough battle, they win. So it was nip and tuck yesterday in the game, and I'm like, okay, they're battling.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when he hit him with that Rodman elbow, I said, oh, he's out of here, man.
Yeah.
I said, he got to go. I said, I saw hate in my man's heart, man.
Yeah.
I saw hate in his eyes.
He straight up Dave Chappelle him. He Rick James him.
He said, hey. Listen,
that was crazy.
I saw that, and I said, man, he's going to be suspended for the next game, too. That's a flagrant foul, too. And just like you thought, I said, man, is this going to be Draymond all over again? Like, he misses Game 5, and they win Game 5, and then he comes back, and by that time, it's too late. They're already down 3-2. And you're playing in Timberwolves land. But I don't think he's going to get suspended. I think I heard it. He's not going to be suspended. So, we're going to be even.
Listen, Adam Silver's not stupid, dude.
Nah, because it's the money, baby. Hey.
You can't. The ratings would go down so much if you had OKC versus Minnesota.
Yes.
Versus the option of Wemby.
Yes.
Taking shots about MVP and playing both sides. They're going to build that narrative up as much as they can because that's the series. That's going to be the NBA championship right there.
Yeah.
That's my perspective. But I think, seeing that, like I actually want to see that.
Yeah,
I want to see if is Wemby that dude? Is he ready to like
yeah,
take the crown,
yeah,
or is he just talking about it? And
yeah,
then maybe next year or the year following is his time to
yeah.
take that leap. So I don't think they're going to, there's no way they're going to do that. But is it the right thing to do? Absolutely not. But
Hey,
business is always going to get in the way. You can't mess up the profits.
the bottom line is money. The
That's
money is
right.
bottom line, and you ain't messing up the ducats. You know you're not messing up the ducats. If Wimby out game 5 in Minnesota, they're gonna be like, man, kids, like, I'm coming to see Wimby. I want to see Wimby. All eyes want to see Wimby on a Tuesday night when nothing else is really going on. We want to see Wimby. So I believe Wimby's going to come out. I do believe that the Spurs are going to win game 5 on the road. I want to see if Wimby, like you said, I want to see if Wimby comes out with the mentality of, all right, y'all got me. Now it's time for me to get y'all. It's time for me to get y'all. And I want to see if he come
Mhm.
out with a 30 piece. I want to see if he wants to come out with a 30 piece. So I still have the Spurs winning. I still have them winning, and I still have them winning the series in 6.
Mhm. Yep.
All
I
right. So
agree.
before I let you go, I have 2 things.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna stick to basketball real quick since we're here. Wizards get the number 1 pick. What are they gonna do? What would you do if you was Wizards GM?
I'm taking AJ. I don't know that there's much to think about when I look at the construction of their team, because you got a young Trey Young who you obviously feel like you can build around, and then you took AD who's Embiid West. Now he came back to the East Coast. So now, and you've got a young core. You've got George there. You've got the dude Bilal. You've got a lot of young pieces. And when you look around the league, the teams that are going to have probably more sustainable success, they got a star or a couple stars,
Mhm.
and they got a whole bunch of role players and pieces. OKC, Detroit, San Antonio. You look at all the top teams, they're all kind of built similarly. And I think
Mhm.
Wizards are trying to do the same thing. So you go get an AJ who wants to play the 3. Now you pair him up with Trey at the 1, him at the 3, AD probably at the 4. I know he never wants to play the 5. So, you probably need to, you got Sar. I'm sorry. You drafted Sar,
Sorry, yeah.
who's at the 5 spot. So, they got a good young construction. Now, I know AJ wanted to go to Utah. I don't know why, other than the fact that he, plays there and is from there.
He got a
Like
whole setup there, man. He got a whole
he
setup there.
does, he does, he does. But lights out at 9 p.m. over there. Like,
Hey,
you know, he
feet on the ground.
feet on the ground. I'm not versus Chocolate City. No, man, you gotta make different decisions. Like we
Hey,
gotta grow up.
hey, listen. You know, the city's one of my favorite United States cities. The melting
Why is
pot.
that?
You know, you know. I feel like the hustle and the bustle's there. You know, the people who are
Yeah.
about things are there. I love it. I love it. I think about going back there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that AJ Bonza should go to the Wizards as well. If I'm the Wizards GM, I'm sorry, AJ. You want to go to Utah? I'm sorry. But if they're not giving me Laurie marketing back, switching me as me first to second, and if they ain't giving me 3 unprotected picks, you ain't going nowhere, fella. You're going to
Yeah.
be right here in DC with me. You're going to be,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, at the 3. We're going to have George out there helping you as well. We're going to have AD at the 4, Sar at the 5, Young at the point. We're going to have my man, young Bub Carrington from Pitt. We're going to have him coming
I
there.
left him out on purpose.
You got Justin Champagny, another Pitt man. We're going to have him, come in, after as well. I
Trade
think
him.
I think that the Washington Wizards, if they take AJ and they get, let's just say they get average. I'm going to say average AD. I'm going to say average. I'm not going to say healthy AD. I'm going to say what we get with AD. If you get what we get
Mm-hmm.
with AD, Trey Young doing his thing, and actually, I think if he becomes more of a point guard, I think that would help this team out more. Like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to score as much, putting up bad shots. Let's try to work these, young folks in. Let's try to get it down to AD. I think they could be a playoff team in 1 year. I really do. If and I mean like a play-in team. That's what I'm thinking if they get AJ.
Yeah, they could easily be in the play on in the East. I mean, you
Yeah,
look at the
yeah.
teams
It's
that are down there, like
East.
Miami's
Yeah,
going to have to change their roster.
yeah,
You've got the Sixers who might be in that same
yeah.
situation next year. You've got
Like you
Milwaukee,
said,
who's probably
Celtics.
going to lose Giannis. Like, who
Yeah.
knows what they get back? Like, you got a lot of situations
Yeah,
that,
you got a lot where you can be right back up there, and hopefully, you know what I
yeah,
mean. My boy, keeps his stuff for the Wizards so I can make a little stretch down there and watch them play every now and again. I hope so. I hope we keep it up for this year. I think he still got it. We'll
Yeah,
see. But
that's a
yeah,
good
that
excuse to get down to Chocolate City.
yeah, hey, I want every excuse to get down.
I know, I know,
Every
I know.
excuse.
You can't wait. You can't. You trying to go to Howard's graduation commencement? Huh?
Hey,
You just
listen,
trying to go to
I'm trying to go
everything.
down there to see everything and everybody.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So that was the last basketball one. So
Yeah.
since you and I, we grew up Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and we know what our quarterback room looks like, and we know we're waiting for Aaron Rodgers. I want to know what is your opinion on us waiting on Rodgers, and what would you like for us to do at this point right now when it comes to the Rodgers situation and our QB situation?
I think for me, I'm kind of mad that they're doing this. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me while we're waiting on Aaron Rodgers. He's not MVP Aaron Rodgers. He's not Mr. 4,000, 5,000 yards passing MVP caliber guy anymore. Like, he may have it up here, but he's not that in terms of production. And I don't care. You can give him more weapons, which I think we did a good job of doing. But the reality is we're still not going to be considered in the upper echelon this year anyway. So for me, it's like, don't waste another TJ year. Don't waste another Cam year. Those guys are probably on the last leg of their careers by trying to extend this run. You got Drew, who you feel like, may give you something because you drafted him. You still have Will Howard. If Mason Rudolph is on this team at any point for this upcoming season, I'm not going to a game just because he's on the sidelines. Like, let this man move on. Let him go to greener pastures. I don't care if he starts to get a winery like Drew Bledsoe. Go do something else. Like, leave Pittsburgh and go find something else to do with your time. Because, like, that's the Tomlin regime. So I don't even know why he's still on the roster. I'd have found a way to get like a 2035 seventh round pick for him. Like at this point, move on from this guy. So I think the quarterback room, I would like to see them have a different veteran in there, maybe AKA your boy Josh Dobbs. Like, I actually wouldn't mind that in a Mike McCarthy system, to see somebody like that who's proven in multiple stops can give you 2, 3, 4 wins in a season. You need to step in, spot start, or if these young guys aren't cutting it and you're trying to cut bait, let him start the rest of the year, and then you go back to the drawing board next year. So I think we should start over, and I don't think we should be waiting on Aaron. But obviously, is not holding up his end of the bargain on the tough talk he had early in the year.
Listen, I thought this all was a Mike Tomlin issue. They keep telling us this is a Mike Tomlin issue. The reason we go 9-8 every year now, 10-7 every year, it's a Mike Tomlin issue. That's what I keep hearing. I have seen this first draft, and I'm okay with the draft. It wasn't like it was it was good or it wasn't bad. I was like, we lucked into our offensive tackle, which I'm glad we did. And I was like, all right, we needed to pick one up over a slot receiver. But when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, I'm sick of this, man. I'm done. This dude is as old as us. Matter of fact, he's older than you.
Hey, why you gotta say me? You're older than me.
I know. He's younger than me. He's a month younger than me, but he's older than you. That's what I'm saying. And we're waiting for this guy? What are
Right.
we waiting for?
I
I
don't
feel,
know.
I feel like Jennifer Love Hewitt when she just circling around. What are we waiting for? Like, why are we waiting for this guy? The
I
Steelers
don't know.
organization reminds me of it reminds me of that we all got that one friend, right? That, and I might be the friend, who knows? In you, no. Well, I might be the friend, but we all got that one friend where they had a long time girlfriend. They won't marry her, but they won't let her go. And I'm like, we had this problem with Big Ben. We had this problem with TJ Watt. Because I'm sorry, I already got off of TJ Watt 2 years ago, and I already got me some good stuff. I was saying it 2 years ago. I'd rather be like Bill Belichick and get rid of him a year early than keep him a year late. Aaron Rodgers is
Mhm.
not going to do anything for us. I saw that you were at the playoff game. After the first two series, he was non-existent. You had some good
Yep.
seats, by the way. I saw you on TV while I was watching.
You were at the game, so I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Like, I walked by you and said what's up. So you were at the game. We're not gonna do that. All right. Like, you're acting like you Stephen A in Miami while the game's going on. You were at the game in the lower bowl. You were in the lower part of the bowl.
Man, I just saw you had some good seats, man. I
I
wish
mean,
I, I
they
wish I
were
was in
okay.
that section.
They were okay. It cost a lot.
I wish I was in that section with you, man.
You wouldn't want to pay that price if you just saw the outcome.
Listen, I was done. Anytime you let the big man rumble, bumble, fumble for a touchdown, I was sick. I don't want Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers back. I don't. Hey, I'm playing Uncle Sam. I never want to see you again. That's the song I'm playing. I
Mm,
don't want to see you again. Let's see what Will
yeah.
Howard can do. Besides getting mugged over there in Ireland, let's see what he can do in the States. Let's see
Yeah.
what Drew Allen could do. Because I believe this is the year that we put the young bucks out there and say, hey, there's supposed to be about 4 or 5 good quarterbacks in the draft next year. Let's see what we can do. I'm not saying let's tank. I'm not saying that. But I want to see if we have the quarterback on our roster. And we will never know if we're playing Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
He got to go.
But the Steelers got to make that determination. Like for me, since we're talking about song I'll use is Sunshine Anderson.
I heard it
Heard it
all
all before,
before.
right? Because like we just we tried this experiment. Now, granted, our offense to me is skill player wise better this year than last
Yes.
year.
Yes.
Because Gainwell was our really only threat
Yes.
outside of DK, which is not going to work in today's NFL. You
Not
can't
at all.
have one receiver. You don't throw the ball to Freiermuth all year, pretty much, except for like 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Washington, you use him, but he's pretty much catching passes 10 yards and in. Like he's not,
Yeah.
getting 30-yard passes. You can never stretch the field. So everybody's stacking the box against Warren
Yeah.
and forcing Rodgers to make quick throws. So yeah, like, is he serviceable? Yeah, but if you're just going to look to be serviceable and just disrupt the whole thing, start over, like you said, see what quarterback you have on your this year's roster. Because what it does for next year is either next year you're going to have to use a first round pick on a quarterback, or if you've got your guy and you're not paying him now, you're in the same position as the Denver Broncos and the
Yep.
Patriots. You're
Yep.
not paying a quarterback, and you can go build this roster for the next 3 to 4 years
And maximize on that rookie contract.
Yeah, exactly. But before you got to pay anybody, and we haven't been in that situation since Ben was a rookie.
Exactly. Hey, and that's when we won a championship when he was in, his second
Second year.
year. So hey,
Yeah.
on his rookie contract, we went back 2 more years later. So, but I appreciate you and thank you for coming out on campus again. That's this episode of Cope's Campus. Stay tuned.